Guess what? I've been playing more Halo mods, and there's a lot of them. 343's main shooter is definitely struggling, but one thing that keeps seeing win after win is the Master Chief Collection. Reach's mod tools just dropped, and more ambitious and creative projects are being released on an almost weekly basis. So why don't we see what the modding community in Halo has been up to? Before we do though, I get a lot of comments from Xbox players who want to make the jump to PC due to mod support on the MCC. And thankfully, today's sponsor can help with that. If you're looking to play the coolest mods, check out the insane stuff that Reshade can do to your favorite video games, or even game with any controller of your choosing, you're probably looking into getting a PC. The world of PC gaming can be pretty overwhelming though. That's why Apex Gaming PCs and I partnered up to create a custom line of, get this, pre-built LateNightGaming PCs to make the process easier. The line comes in 3 tiers. We got Marines, we got the middle tier, ODST, and the Apex tier, Spartan. Especially if you're coming from the world of console gaming, just having the PC built and ready to go for you can be simply easier. That's actually how I got started with PC gaming. I had mine custom built for me back in 2014. This PC will be around for a while, and if you use the code LATENIGHT in the description below, you can save up to $250 on your purchase. Apex Gaming PC came at a perfect time because I see all of you in the comments asking questions about how to get into PC gaming, how Reshade or modding works, and for those interested in PC gaming and want to support the channel, the link is down below. A huge thank you to Apex Gaming PCs for sponsoring the video and helping to provide PCs to those who want to play some of the mods we're about to discuss. Mythic Jackie is back with another banger mod after his absolutely stellar Halo 3 Mythic campaign. Mythic's approach to sandbox design is typically an everything and the kitchen sink approach. His mods are a celebration of Halo's history, reaching deep into Halo's past to pull weapons from. This mod has things like the Combat Evolved Assault Rifle, the Brute Plasma Rifle, which looks hella sexy in the Halo Reach engine by the way. The Mauler, the Covenant Carbine is here as well. He even included that assault rifle thing from one of the Halo books. I mean hell, even the Storm Rifle is here, which all 3 Storm Rifle fans I'm sure will love to see. I'm joking. But it's not just the guns though. Even the enemies saw some touching up with new enemy types, new armors, modified behaviors and the like to spice up the combat. The HUD is a bit harder to follow during gameplay than base Reach's HUD. Mythic replaced a lot of the weapon icons with the infinite style, fictional gun names and long text boxes, which I found just makes it hard sometimes to find what it is I'm trying to pick up off the ground. Mythic continues to provide the fan service in spades. His mod is limited to just Firefight for now, but it's a really good time and it just makes me excited to see what he's going to be doing for the campaign. Sandtrap Firefight is one of the craziest things I've downloaded for Halo 3. A fella by the name of Gnade Massacre 117 created this insanely addictive spin on the Firefight format. You're dropped onto the map in an ODST drop pod. In between waves, you can pick from rewards such as squad members or overpowered weapons from across the Halo series. Waves are all themed around specific enemy types from the Banished, and even get fun little audio cues with the enemy taunting you.
Is that the best you have?
Oh, and how can I forget, it's not just the Banished and Flood you're fighting. Gnade even got Prometheans working in this mod, and they've got their own weapons, AI routines, and even vehicles, which honestly I wish were in the mainline 343 games. Not only do the Prometheans look incredible with Halo 3's lighting engine, their leader, the Didact, is also a boss fight who makes his arrival in his massive Promethean metapod. I saved the best for last though, because the Halo 2 Gravemind is also a boss fight in all his massive planty glory, and it's just so beautiful. Arcane Forest by Naughty Scotty is a completely original mission for Halo Combat Evolved, containing new weapons, enemies, and sandbox balancing. It's set in an environment that the Combat Evolved engine handles quite well, the great outdoors, as you fight through fog-shrouded woods and ancient stone castles and ruins. I've been playing a lot of Legend of Zelda recently, so maybe it's that, but I got massive Twilight Princess vibes from this mod. The openness and atmosphere is just on point. It also helps that it's always a blast to see new spins on Halo's iconic combat loop in the Halo Combat Evolved engine. The production value feels quite high considering the scale of what Scotty was making, and the weapons pack a nice punch as well. If I could make any critiques, the Combat Evolved engine doesn't handle burst weapons well at all. The fire rate of the bursts will speed up or slow down depending on how taxed the engine is, and sometimes it feels like some shots just aren't registered. It's a problem other projects in the Combat Evolved engine struggle with, but it's easy to overlook when you consider what is actually being done with this 2-decade-old game engine. Brilliant stuff, and I hope to see more missions made and more projects from him. Halo 3 457 is a mod from Fruta Bomba 578 that remixes the campaign of Halo 3 in pretty neat ways. A ton of assets and models are swapped out for Halo Reach and Halo 4 assets, a ton of new enemies are added to the mix, as well as the UNSC getting a bump in their model diversity. Missions like Crow's Nest have their atmosphere completely transformed due to the variety of characters found, making it seem like a genuine refuge from the Covenant invasion of Earth. If you're a fan of Mythic Halo 3 or Halo Reach, then this might be worth checking out. It's a fun way to re-experience Halo 3's campaign. Now, some of the mods we just talked about are pretty ambitious, but not every mod needs to be this crazy, mind-blowing original thing. In fact, some of Halo's best mods are the smaller, bite-sized ones that have huge ramifications for the game. Ever wanted to use an M4A1 in Halo Reach? Well, thanks to Mythic Jackie, you can.
Keep firing! Additional contacts!
With the weather getting chillier, it's probably appropriate that Mythical Rewards gifts us with a beautiful snow-covered Forge world to craft beautiful festive creations in Halo Reach. Is the pit really the pit if you're up to your pits in alien bits? Well, thanks to Regulus32, you can find out. The iconic multiplayer map, The Pit, is playable in ODST Firefight, and it plays just as well against enemy Covenant as it does enemy players. If that's too easy for you then, by all means, enjoy every enemy being turned into a Jackal sniper in Halo 2 by Tipsy Phoenix. Double points if you can beat this on Legendary, all skulls on. Ethan102 has a more reasonable take on Halo 2, changing the war-torn sunrise to a bleak night, which gives Halo 2 a completely different atmosphere. Reno gives us a taste of what could have been with Halo 2: The Storm. a mod that allows you to swap out many enemies and weapon models in Halo 3 with counterparts from Halo 2 or Halo 2 Anniversary. And you know what? It looks pretty good. TBZ takes one of Halo 3's maps, Snowbound, and melts much of the ice and snow, replacing it with dense foliage, rain, humidity, and fog, reimagined as Earthbound. I don't know about you, but Earthbound is a pretty beautiful spin on this map. Ferber Schlerber closes out this trip through memory lane with a recreation of an iconic Halo 2 mod, Donkey Kong. Dodge the incoming garbage and vehicles as you try to make it to the top to win. And those are just some of the mods that I've been playing through lately. What are your favorite mods of the bunch? And more importantly, if you could make your own maps or mods, what would they be? The sky is the limit. I'd like to read some of your ideas below. I want to give a special thank you to the members of the channel who keep me keeping on. And if we turn our attention over to the Patreon, I actually asked for some questions over there, which we are going to answer right now. Devart Farmer asks, assuming Halo Infinite were in a good state and campaign expansions were realistic, what would you want out of a Halo Infinite ODST? That's actually a pretty good question. So what I think is really good about the open world aspect of Halo Infinite is you actually have a lot of terrain to work with. Rather than 343 building out completely new terrains or new open worlds or anything, I'd actually like them to kind of box up some of that open world landscape that they have, like put some crashed freighters, put some cliff sides, something to contain the player and create actual level design out of. I'd have one of the Halo Infinite islands act as your sort of hub world, and then I'd have missions take place in sort of boxed in, linearized segments of the open world. G.I. Joe Paul asks, what is your least favorite mission of all time in Halo? Okay, so see, that's not really a fair question, because I'm a Halo fan, so I like all missions. I'll even defend missions like the library. If I had to talk about least favorite missions, as in, I genuinely dislike having to replay this mission, like I'll actively go out of my way to avoid it if I can. It might be Cortana from Halo 3, if I'm honest. Back on the Xbox 360 generation at sub-HD resolutions, I vividly remember getting lost in that mission and just the fuzzy orange glow from the screen for like an hour as I just wandered around trying to find my place. I eventually got like a pretty bad migraine and had to stop playing. So whenever I think of Cortana and I think of its color palette and everything, all I think of is that awful migraine that level caused me. So it would probably have to be Cortana from Halo 3. Poyo asks, who is your favorite Zelda side character so far and why? So if you guys didn't know, I'm actually properly playing through the Legend of Zelda series. I'm kind of going back and forth currently between Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time. And so far I have to say that my favorite side character is Mido. And the reason why it's Mido specifically is not because of anything that he's done. It's that when I was a kid and I had experience with Ocarina of Time on the N64, probably the biggest takeaway from that game that I remember, more than just the village and the atmosphere, was spending an embarrassingly long time trying to fake him out and get by him. And so his animation as he slides along the ground to stop you and impede your progress because you're not supposed to leave the village, his little shuffle has been burnt into my brain. That animation, I know it. It's like a core memory. So it's gonna have to be Mido so far.